Hello everyone and welcome to Cineful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting out war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer 40,000 boarding patrols, and today we're going to take a look at the Leagues of Votann. Now, in this video, we're going to take a look at how you muster a Leagues of Votann boarding patrol, how it differs from all the other factions and the special things you can do with it, and then look at the rules adaptation that the army has for boarding patrol. We'll then take a look at a couple of units we recommend to get started with for your boarding patrol force before having a look at a few more units that we think you can use to expand upon those couple of initial purchases. Finally, we'll finish off the video with a little sample army list of 500 points, the standard size game for a boarding patrol, for you to use hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own Leagues of Votann army to use in Warhammer 40k boarding patrols. And so, with all of that said, to start with, mustering a boarding patrol. First of all, like all factions, all league units in your boarding patrol must be from the same league. This is just standard across all the armies. You know, if you have to be from the same chapter, you have to be from the same craft world, etc. Now, you can include one heavy support slot, but this unit must be a Brokia Thunderkin unit, cannot be any other type of unit. You can also not upgrade your Brokia Ironmaster unit to a Brokia Forgemaster unit. You can include up to 2 character models as well, so long as one is the Brokia Ironmaster and the other one is his Ironkin assistant, so effectively allowing you to take that particular model in your force. Rules adaptation wise, enemy units do not gain judgment tokens for completing set Overwatch, set to defend, or operate hatchway actions. And then the multi-wave comms array war gear changes its rules to the simple, where bearer's unit gains the comms keyword, and while a friendly Carl model is on the battlefield, the bearer's unit is considered to be within range of the model's kindred, hero, or ability. This is instead of the regular range for it, it just makes it work throughout the entire spaceship you're fighting on, or wherever you're fighting on in boarding patrols. Could be an underhive maybe. Lastly, when resolving the Crushing Contempt psychic power, if the result of the roll is greater than or equal to the leadership characteristic of the enemy unit you're targeting, if that unit has been set to Overwatch or set to Defend, then it is no longer in either of those states. Now, looking at where to begin, my first choice for a character to lead the force is the Iron Here Champion. He's a combat monster, and for me, it just is the best option to go with in a boarding patrol. 2+ save, weapon skill, ballistic skill, 2+ strength, toughness, and 5 wounds with 4 attacks. You got the option of 2 main weapons, either having the Darkstar Axe for +1 strength, -3 AP, damage 1, and each time an attack is made with this weapon, you make 2 hit rolls instead of 1, but each time an attack is made with the weapon is allocated to an enemy model, that model can not use any rules to ignore wounds that it loses. On the other hand, you can have the Mass Hammer, which is ×2 strength, -3 AP, damage D3 +3, though you are -1 to hit when swinging this giant hammer, but I do think this gives you a really heavy hitting piece. Now, Teleport Crest is certainly an option you can play with, but I think the Weafield Crest is fantastic. This gives you the Shield Crest keyword, and you're also going to get a 4-up invulnerable save. In addition, your wounds characteristic will also go to 6 rather than 5. On top of this, you've got a few special rules. You've got the Mass Driver Accelerators. Each time this model ends a charge move, it can do some mortal wounds to an enemy if it ends within range. The Exemplar of the Iron here allows you to have friendly Hearthguard models within 6-inch reroll wound rolls of 1. And the Exo Armor, each time an attack is allocated to the model, you subtract 1 from the damage. And the Ram Shield, each time a melee attack is made against this model, you also subtract 1 from wound rolls against yourself. Now, the obvious thing might be to go with Iron Here Hearthguard, and they are a solid unit, but they are incredibly expensive in a boarding patrol, especially when you combine them with an Iron Here Champion. You're pretty much looking at the majority of your boarding patrol being used there. For this reason, I like the Chthonian Berserks. I think they're a really fun unit in boarding patrol. Now, they have an option for a couple of different weapons. You can either go with the heavy plasma axes, which are probably the way I would go in a boarding patrol. The fact that you can strike or sweep, get a more powerful attack, or get more attacks, I think is the best way to go. You can also take concussion mauls, which are a ×2 strength weapon as well. Really good for cracking open heavy armor. But you can also take twin concussion gauntlets in the units as well. So I'd just be taking one of these in a unit to get those extra +3 strength, -2 AP, damage 2 attacks for cracking open space marines. Now, you can also take a Mole Grenade Launcher, which is a Hunter D6 weapon, strength 5, -2 AP, damage 1. It's got indirect fire, which is really fun, and blast, so this weapon can target units that are not visible to the bearer, which is pretty fun. I really like the idea of a Mole Launcher. Now, Augmented will mean you've got a 5-up Feel No Pain, and Cyber Stims, you can reroll charge rolls for the unit as well. And each time a model's unit is destroyed as a result of a melee attack, if its model's not fought, you can attack before it's removed from play. Now, looking at the other units, Ironhair Hearthguard definitely deserve a mention because our Ironhair champion will get to give them some benefits with his abilities. Ironhair Hearthguard, 2-up save, they've got the options for taking either the plasma guns there, or they can swap out those Edacard plasma guns for Vulcanite disintegrators. You've got Plasma Blade gauntlets and Concussion gauntlets, and you can also have the Hesse, which is the unit champion, equipped with a Concussion hammer. The Hesse will also have the Weavefield Crest, same rules that apply to the Weavefield Crest, 4-up invulnerable save, and then giving +1 wound to your Hesse. Now, they are a dedicated combat unit. They're going to be nice, slow, purposeful, moving through and just punching their way through. A lot more defensive focus than the unit that is the Chthonian Berserks. But I think the Chthonian Berserks, for me, the ability for them to have different ways to fight is probably what puts them above the Ironhair Hearthguard. Now, looking at our troops choice, Hearthkin Warriors are certainly a useful option. They're going to give us bodies on the table. They can have a variety of different weapons. They've got 2 main guns, either the Automatic Pattern Bolters, or they can have the Iron Blasters. I really like the Iron Blasters. The -2 AP, damage 2, strength 5 is great for opening up Space Marines. Now, you've got a couple of different weapons you can take. First of all, the Magna Rail Rifle is worth mentioning. This thing is Hunter 1, and it's damage D3 +3, but the Magna Rail ability allows its damage to actually spill over and kill other models. The Hylas Auto Rifle is probably your most shot output, other than the L7 Missile Launcher, which is the blast version, but the Hylas Auto Rifle, strength 6, -2 AP, I think is a really good upgrade for them. Now, you've got a few different options. If you're not including the Cull, you definitely don't need that multi-wave combat comms array that we've talked about at the start of the video. Medipacks can help you stop some damage coming in, and the Pantrectual Scanner can stop your opponents being able to get light cover against you as well. Other than that, you can have some combat weapons on your unit's leader, the Thane. You can have things like Concussion Gauntlets, Plasma Axes, and Plasma Swords on them as well. Now, we talk about the heavy support unit that we can take, which is the Brachia Thunderkin. These have some really great weapon options. I love the Graviton Blast Cannons, Hunter D6, Strength 5, -3 AP, damage 2, and against anything with a safe characteristic of 3+ or better, they have a damage characteristic of 3, so these are great for opening up Gravis Armored Warriors and anything with 3 wounds for the Space Marines. Lastly, we have the Cull. This is definitely an alternate hero option you can go with. I think he benefits a lot of your units, giving out rerolls with the Kindred Aura. This will be reroll hit rolls of 1. He also has a 4-up invulnerable save, and Grim Efficiency means you can put some Judgment tokens around with him as well. Now, he has his Rampant Crest, where he'll gain the Shield Crest keyword, but he'll gain the Rampant Shield Aura ability while the friendly League Infantry unit is within 6 inch. Models in the unit have a 5-up invulnerable save against ranged attacks. It's got a couple of different weapon options. You can have the Forge Wrought Plasma Axe for +1 strength, -3 AP, damage 2, or the Mass Gauntlet for +2 strength, -3 AP, damage 3, though you are -1 to hit with this weapon. And so here we have our sample army. Now, the sub-faction we've gone for, or the league we've gone for here, is the Kronos Hegemony. The reason we've gone for this is the one that benefits combat the most. So, what we get is each time a unit with this custom fights, if it made a charge move, was charged, or performed heroic intervention, then it has +1 attack, and it will also have +1 strength as well. So just really cool for getting some combat bonuses in. Now, for our army, we've got the Ironhair Champion, who's going to be our Warlord. He's got the Autic Pattern Combi Bolter, Mass Hammer, Warlord, and his Weavefield Crest. Troops-wise, we have a unit of Hearthkin Warriors, Magna Rail Rifle, Hylas Auto Rifle in there, Medipack, and the Pan Spectral Scanner. And then our Thane for the unit will have a Concussion Gauntlet on an Ion Pistol as well. Lastly, we have a unit of Chthonian Berserks with heavy plasma axes, though we have one of them with twin concussion gauntlets and one with the Mole Grenade Launcher in there as well, rounding us out to 497 points. Like I said, there's certainly some options you can play around with here. I think if you're wanting to go with those Hearthguard Warriors, you're probably going to find you have a lot less troops on the table. But I think there's definitely some options in there to play around with that. I think this is a really fun one. The Chthonian Berserks, like I mentioned, are the more utility sort of option. They've got, you know, horde killing potential and heavy armor killing potential in there as well. So let us know your thoughts on the army. Let us know your favorite units to use in Leagues of Votann for boarding patrols. Love to hear from everyone down in the comments below. And so that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fantastic little community here, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel. If you would like to, you can do so either by YouTube members or Patreon, or by grabbing yourself some merch at Teespring or at our Ko-fi store. All of them are linked down in the video's description. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallers, Redman, Iron Grinch, Nicholas Colomos, Colorblind Magic, Grimscold, and Andy C. And to our YouTube members: Green Rich Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weird, James Tillman, Gargamel196, and Disco. Lastly, a special thanks first of all to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, everyone who helps come and provide the games for everyone to watch on the channel as well, and indeed all our fantastic mods and members of the community who keep our Discord and comment section a fantastic place for all to be. Thank you all once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.